Hi, I'm Matthew Tomaszewski of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Welcome to this old hall. Today, we'll take a look at the ornamental work in the Lincoln Hall Theater, which gives it so much of its character. There's been substantial damage to the ornamentation over the past few decades, and now it's being repaired using methods and practices and materials that have changed hardly at all over the past few centuries. There are actually two kinds of ornamentation in this room. On wood, composition ornamentation is used, such as the capital on this column. Composition, which became popular in the early 1900s, is a moldable resin that bonds tightly to wood and replicates hand-carved woodwork. But the majority of the ornamentation in the theater is plaster. And today, we'll show you how plaster ornamentation is made.
First off, we took samples of the missing and broken elements. We took them, we made rubber molds so we can make copies. To make a copy, we take the rubber mold, apply a release agent, soak mold in plaster in clean water until it's the right consistency. You want it soft enough to flow into all the nooks and crannies of the mold, but not too soupy that it'll take forever and be weak when it sets. You can see it's nice thickness when it coats your hand. Pour a portion in. Shake to get out any bubbles. You don't want bubbles on the surface. Now I lay in what is sisal hemp. It's actually unfinished rope. That's to give it some strength. And I can finish filling. And by the magic of video, that's the finished piece. I'm going to be making some plaster here, and then I'm going to stick this piece right back up here where it was. These pieces were loose. I was able to save them. And now I'm going to reattach them in the same manner they were attached back in the day. Want it nice and smooth. Piece. Place and give it a little wiggle. A lot of pressure. Make sure it lines up. And tie it off so it doesn't move. Once that plaster's set, I can tool this in by hand so it'll look like it's been there forever. This will be solid in about an hour. This piece we were able to salvage. There was just some minor superficial damage on this ribbon, hair down here, and on the back of the head. Instead of going through the trouble of making a new mold and everything, taking a fresh one off to make a mold from, I just tooled it in by hand. This area where it was heavily water damaged is almost complete. What we have left is to reattach the festoon to a ribbon. That ribbon was heavily damaged, so we're having a new one made. And after that, it'll be ready for paint.
About 60% of the ornamentation required new molds. They salvaged about 30% of the ornamentation and had to recreate about 10% by hand. It's worth noting that the ornamentation was replaced in kind, a restoration term meaning that if it was originally composition, it was restored with composition, and plaster was restored with plaster. The techniques for creating ornamentation have remained largely the same as when the theater was made. In this case, the old ways are the best ways. And like Lincoln Hall Theater, it's a reminder that some things are worth preserving. Well, that's all for this episode. We'll see you next time on This Old Hall.